every time this market has actually headed into an event which could turn the market both sides, bulls have come out on top.
The opening rates are pretty soft. Nifty is refusing to take a direction. Okay, 0.05%.
I think the markets are factoring in an NDA victory, but the amount of seats may not be fully factored in.
The Bank Nifty is currently at a record high, up around 3% at this point in time. Sensex has now hit a record high and now just 70 points away from reclaiming that, from seeing the 23,000 level.
1,500 is the level which we think is the minimum which one should look at if one believes in a positive election outcome.
No one is unwinding positions, Sonia, and is going into Monday with long positions and with market at all-time high. Tells you that this really is the last lap for the market.
The Nifty, the Sensex, the Bank Nifty have all ended at record highs. Alright, so that was the sum and substance of all that took place on Friday. Thank you for watching Taking Stock. It's been one hell of a week that we've had. Anuj, what a week it has been. All through the week we were quiet, but then on Friday we had this big bang move on the upside. Record highs for the Sensex, Nifty, Bank Nifty. It's clearly a big NDA victory that people are pricing in.
It is, Sonia, and Friday also told you that this really is a bull market. That's the characteristic of a bull market. It will go through a painful consolidation period, painful only for ultra short-term traders. About 10 to 15 days consolidation, correction, low volume kind of period. You will think that okay, there's no next trigger for the market, and maybe the market has started to peak out, and then all of a sudden we'll have one day where the Nifty will, or the market will not only recoup all the losses but will actually gain more, and that's what happened today. We require just one day for this market to gain all that and actually make a new all-time high with very high volumes, and with stocks like Reliance, ICICI Bank, L&T surging to multi-year highs. Again tells you trend is your best friend at this point in time. You have to be with the trend. You have to be cautious, of course, at what price point you're buying, but really this is a market in which you have to participate on the way up and not look for shorting opportunity, as for last few days we were discussing.
Alright, so record-breaking levels for the market, but we just have a couple of days before we get the exit polls and then the final result on the 16th of May. Let's get our guests in now to tell us how you should be approaching the market at this point in time. Tirthankar Patnaik of Religare joins in to our discussion. Tirthankar, hi, thank you for joining in. You had a road trip to Uttar Pradesh, which is one of the key states that will decide whether the NDA gets a majority or not. What are your key takeaways? Do you think the NDA can get 270 seats on their own, something that the market priced in on Friday or tried to price in on Friday?
Well, I think, one of the things that we saw, we went in not wanting to do quantitative analysis because that's being done by the opinion polls anyway, and one would have the exit polls. So our analysis was not an exit poll of any kind, but what we did want to know was the extent to which the Modi wave was actually apparent in Uttar Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh has 80 seats out of 543, and what we wanted to understand was if the Modi wave is really tangible in terms of awareness levels, and how much can it possibly translate into votes. And clearly the Modi wave is there across length and breadth of the country, and especially so in Uttar Pradesh, where we went to cities, towns, villages, everywhere. The kind of the feedback that we were getting in terms of Modi was fairly high. There was no doubt in our minds that after the trip that rural urban have any kind of information arbitrage about things not getting through. The other thing that we wanted to know was is there a rural urban divide in terms of what expectations they have from a new government, and clearly there was a difference. People wanted to know about unemployment, people wanted to do something about internal security, people wanted development. What we did not hear was a lot on inflation, especially from the rural areas where farm incomes have essentially gone up meaningfully, and people were not really that worried about inflation. But there were a lot of takeaways. I wanted to just say that the intention was to do a qualitative trip, and I may ask answer questions as you ask them.
Okay, Tirthankar, hi. But what do you make of the market move on Friday? I mean, we had this massive move, really, all-time high for the market. All sort of numbers been thrown now. Do you think the best case outcome is priced in, or do you think it's still not priced in, and if the market gets what it wants, the rally could extend from here on as well?
See, the only way to understand what happened today would be to ask if there was incremental information coming into the markets in terms of a tally. Obviously, there are no exit polls allowed at this time, but the markets over the last 2-3 weeks or so have not really reacted much. They have been range bound, and what was missing was incremental information to the markets as the phases of the polls started getting over. What is it that the market was looking for in terms of a final tally for the BJP, for the NDA, and therefore in terms of is the government formation clean? Is there a decisive mandate, and or the BJP NDA might need the support of post-poll allies? So I think that's where the market is getting signals that things might be clearer than we thought. Things might not get into discussions into post-poll alliances, which always carry their own volatility. So my read is that it's just incremental information to the markets.
Alright, so just to take that point forward, Tirthankar, if the NDA, hypothetically, if the NDA gets 270 seats and is in a position to form the government without the help of regional parties, then what kind of an upside do you foresee for the market in the near term?
Well, hard to call. I mean, I'm a strategist, not a short-term trader, but like the last time, you had a positive circuit to the markets. Maybe we'll see a positive circuit, maybe not, but clearly, upside is there to the markets. Even if the market does not get a fresh positive circuit on the day of the results, you might see the markets over the next 1 month or so going up, because a decisive government should carry a lot of expectations with it. And the way market cues are coming up right now, there's been a lull over the last over the last month and a half or so. I think we might be in for a ride at this time.
Okay, since you said that you are a strategist, Tirthankar, in that case, what should be the best strategy in terms of portfolio allocation now? Should one still be with the leaders like ICICI Bank, Reliance, L&T, SBI, or should one look at stocks which have not performed in this rally?
Well, our portfolio positioning always has been driven by a top-down approach, where we are concerned about the macro, where we are also happy that macro fundamentals in terms of an external side, what people see in terms of current account deficit, fiscal deficit, inflation, those things have turned around. There is a decisive mandate, and there is expectation that the government should turn around things. There is expectation that the government should accelerate the turnaround in the economy. So from that perspective, it would make sense to be into, to remain into beta, but remain in quality beta. We are still cautious, and I will remain cautious on infra space. I will remain cautious on places or real estate where, short-term money could be made, but beyond a point, beyond a month or so, let's say when the euphoria really dies down and comes to brass tacks, what is it that the government can do? Can it really speed up the growth of the economy to say 6% levels this year itself? So those questions will be asked, and that's where we believe that some beta plays might falter. So to answer your question, yes for beta, but only quality beta at this point.
Okay, well, we'll talk in greater detail about that in a bit, Tirthankar. We just need to take a short break, but lots more questions lined up for you on the other side. Take a break and come back.